in James. Now, last week, Pastor Susan moved forward a little bit, and now we are moving backwards a little bit. We are looking at James, the end of chapter 3 and the beginning of chapter 4. Let us hear these words of wisdom. Are there any of you wise and understanding? Show that your actions are good with a humble lifestyle that comes from wisdom. However, if you have bitter jealousy and selfish ambition in your heart, then stop bragging and living in ways that deny the truth. This is not the wisdom that comes down from above. Instead, it is from the earth, natural and demonic. Wherever there is jealousy and selfish ambition, there is disorder and everything that is evil. What of the wisdom from above? First, it is pure, and then peaceful, gentle, obedient, filled with mercy and good actions, fair and genuine. Those who make peace sow the seeds of justice by their peaceful acts. What is the source of conflict among you? What is the source of your disputes? Don't they come from your cravings that are at war with your own lives? You long for something you don't have, so you commit murder. You are jealous for something you can't get, so you struggle and fight. You don't have because you don't ask. You ask and don't have because you ask with evil intentions, wasted on your own cravings. Therefore, submit to God, resist the devil, and he will run away from you. Come near to God, and he will come near to you. Wash your hands, you sinners. Purify your hearts, double-minded. May God add God's understanding to the reading. This is the 5th week that we've been in James. Now, there's always some things to remember as we are looking at one of the epistles. We've kind of reviewed them over time, and maybe you remember these things. They are fresh, and maybe we need a refresher. It's a letter. It's written to a specific community in a specific situation at a specific time. That doesn't mean that there aren't parts and pieces that apply to our lives today, but there are just specific things that are being addressed. It's also not in the narrative form that we're used to. It's called paranesis or exhortation or warning. It's a form of wisdom literature, much like the Proverbs. These are things that we have to remember as we look at the context of these warnings that we hear today. The book of James sometimes feels a little bit like the junk drawer. Maybe you have one of these at home. Sometimes it's hard to open or shove one more thing in. Everything kind of falls into it. And on that one day you need something that's in the very, very back corner, you find everything of importance that you have lost in the last year. There's a lot of good stuff in there. You just don't remember where it is. Sometimes the book of James feels like the junk drawer because there's over 54 pieces of exhortation. There's over 54 things that we have to think about. Have you tried to keep that list of 54 things going all at once? Sometimes it's easier to shove it in the junk drawer than to think about it, right? Today, even though it seems like we've moved a little bit backwards in the book of James, it seems we may have gotten to one of those keys to unlocking this bit of wisdom for our lives. In fact, that's it. That's exactly it. Wisdom. He talks about what it is to seek and live out godly wisdom. The communities that he is writing to are these newly formed communities of faith that have spread all across the land. And it's really easy to be caught up in worldly wisdom. The ways that we succeed based on, for us, media, the expectations of others, our desires, our wants, our professions, the messages we get from the world around us about what is right and good and successful. It's easy to get caught up in that. See, even the disciples who were with Jesus, sitting at the feet of the Master, learning, trying to figure out how to live their lives patterned after him, what was their argument about? Pick me, pick me. I'm the better disciple. It's me, he likes me better. Oh, but I'll be more faithful longer. Can you imagine these disciples bickering as they walk along? And can you imagine Jesus just walking along going, I hear every word. Yet, when he asks, they don't want to admit it. It's like being caught with your hand in the cookie jar. And he says, those who are first will be last, and those who lower themselves as a servant to all will be first. Those who choose to welcome a child. Now, this is not reflective of the children in our congregation. The children were nothing more than chattel at the time. They had no say. They were to be seen and not heard. And until they could work, they were just another mouth to feed. They were not valued in the same way until they got old enough to be of value to the family. So welcoming a child was not worldly values. Welcoming a child was saying there is value in someone who can't work yet, who can't earn income. There is value in this person for solely being a person. They were fighting all kinds of worldly messages of success and value. Worldly wisdom even permeated the relationships between Jesus and the disciples. So then it brings us to the question then, what is wisdom? What does it mean to seek godly wisdom, follow godly wisdom, and to separate ourselves from those messages that we either receive from others, or the media, society, or our own desires and expectations? Are any of you wise and understanding? Show that your actions are good with a humble lifestyle that comes from wisdom. What of the wisdom from above? First, it is pure, then peaceful, gentle, obedient, filled with mercy and good actions, fair and genuine. Those who make peace sow the seeds of justice by their peaceful acts. Don't struggle or fight. Don't war in your own lives. Don't long for things that you don't have. And don't ask with evil intentions or ask for your own good. Those are hard words. That's some difficult stuff, and sometimes calls us on our own ego, right? We all sometimes go, me! I want to succeed! I want to be the strong one in the room. I want to be looked upon well. I want to have what I want. If those who sat at the feet of Jesus can get caught up in that, how much more can we, centuries removed, get caught up in it? Those messages are everywhere. We're constantly shown images of, you want a better life, buy this. You want to be happier, drink this. Eat this. Look like this. To separate ourselves from that wisdom takes time and practice and intentionality. We have to remember that our value is not in those things, but our value is in God, who has loved us and called us to be God's own. So where does wisdom come from? The love of God, not only felt in our lives, but lived out through our very being. Amen.